Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is the UFC 156 post-fight recap with Bear Thunder Heart. And tonight, wow, few fights were excellent. Couple of them were not so much. But wow, tonight, especially during the pay-per-view card, man, dominant performance by the Brazilian fighters. My goodness. What do I mean by that? I will get all to it once I start reading the card. So here we go. Now, the first one, Edwin Figueroa versus Francisco Rivera. And the winner is Francisco Rivera via TKO. So congratulations on that. And Chico Camus, Camus versus Dustin Kimura. And the winner is Dustin Kimura via a submission with a rear naked choke. Excellent UFC debut. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, this guy, Chico Camus made so many mistakes. One of his holes was like every time he had him taken down and try to ground and pound, his arms were on the floor rather than on the guy's chest. So Joe Rogan basically said he needs to have his arms on the guy's chest, not on the floor, because as you saw, Dustin Kimura was able to use the guard, and I was actually even used to trap the arms, trap his shoulders, almost plotted him, nearly triangle choked him, even armbarred him. I mean, he definitely did all kinds of stuff to nearly submit the guy. Okay, and so, but finally, he made one too many mistakes in the third round. He was able to turn it around and got on his back and got him in a rear naked choke and forced him to tap out. So congratulations, Dustin Kimura, on an awesome submission victory. And Yves Edwards versus Isaac Vallie-Flagg, and the winner, be a split decision, is Isaac Vallie-Flagg in his excellent UFC debut from Strikeforce. So congratulations on that. I mean, basically what it all boils down to, the first round the first round went to Isaac Vallie-Flagg with the striking, and then the striking, of course, in the second round went into, of course, Yves Edwards had a better of the two. But in the very third round, though, it was just almost the same thing, except that, of course, Isaac Vallie-Flagg did way more. Even though Yves Edwards is an excellent tactician and how he does movements and how he hits and how he strikes, but Vallie-Flagg just kept pushing forward, and that was I really believe it's a difference in this fight. So congratulations, Isaac Vallie-Flagg, on his UFC debut. And this was a pretty cool fight. Jacob Volkmann versus Bobby Green from Strikeforce in his UFC debut. And the winner is Bobby Green via submission with a rear naked choke in the very third round. I mean, when it all boils down to it, basically, Jacob Volkmann had Bobby Green in trouble in the first round. I mean, especially when he was able to take him down. He was able to lock him and had him on his back, but he was actually on the ground and was trying to put him in a rear naked choke. He had Bobby Green very controlled for the most of the first round. And then in the second round, this is what's so weird. Okay, in the second round, Bobby Green had him in a mount and was throwing nice elbows and hammer fists and punches and so forth. And he was like working him, really working Volkmann. But in the middle but while he was going to work and he was having his advantage and he was still working, this referee by the name of Kimberly Winslow decides in the middle of it to stand him up. And I was like, wait a minute, what is she doing? He was still working, he was still doing elbow smashes, and all of a sudden she starts to stand him up. I thought that was a sorry decision. It was really shit, as you ask me, that decision on her part. And I hope that she gets fined or whatever for doing that, because that was not cool. And the fans agreed that it was not cool. They booed her, and she should have been booed. But that didn't matter, because Jacob took him down again and tried to have him control of course, the end of the second round. Okay, the second round was in the books, but when the third round happened, that's when the difference maker was going on. Because sure, Volkmann, I mean, it began with strikes on the feet for the first couple minutes, but then of course Volkmann tries to take him down again, and he hasn't got stuffed the next time. But the third time that he tried it again in that round, he took him down. He had him on his back, but the thing different was though he didn't have it full control, full body scissor lock. He didn't have a full body lock on it. If anything, what Bobby Green did that was so genius was that he was able to put his foot on the fence and able to use that fence and him as a friend to turn his body over. And then he was actually able to free his arm and actually got on top of the mount position against Jacob. And what happened was he decided to rain down some nice strong elbows and even throw a nice punch to such a degree that it rocked him. He even turned him around and got him in a rear naked choke as quickly as he could, snapped it on him, and forced him to tap out. So congratulations on Bobby Green on an excellent submission rear naked choke victory in his UFC debut from Strikeforce. So yes, congratulations. And in this fight did not take very long at all, as Tyron Woodley versus Jay Heiron, and the winner via knockout in 36 seconds. And great UFC debut from Strikeforce is Tyron Woodley. I mean, let's be honest. How did this happen? Let's see. When the fight started, they went and measured. All of a sudden, he just jumped on him. Nice hook punch to the face. Basically, really rocked him hard. And that's when he went on top of him, started like drilling him. And then when when he didn't have him when he started going on in his back, that's when he had him not just once, two, three, and then on the fourth shot, that's when referee Herb Dean says, okay, that's enough. I've seen enough beating. I don't want to see any more. So congratulations, Tyron Woodley, in his debut. And wow, in this division of the welterweight, he is a force to be reckoned with. So watch out for him, everybody. Watch out for him. And in this next bout right here, as the very powerhouse of the lightweight division, Gleison Tibau, versus Evan Dunham, and the winner is via split decision. And Evan Dunham. How this whole thing started? I mean, let's be honest. Gleison Tibau started the first round very strong, trying to use guillotine chokes, pounding him and so forth. But Evan Dunham is a tactician. He didn't do a lot of sloppiness. He just kept on hitting him with good techniques, sliding him to the side, and of course, the second and the third round was basically all Evan Dunham altogether. I mean, Evan Dunham just simply not only did a couple of takedowns, but he was actually able to, like I said, to really counteract the counter striking. I mean, against Gleison Tibau. And even though Tibau had some good hits on him, it was not enough because Gleison Tibau, you waste a lot of energy not only trying to grapple with him on the fence, clinching him on the fence and so forth, but also, of course, Evan did the same thing to Gleison. And Gleison, of course, even though he threw some strong strikes, if they missed, well, he wasted his energy. If they hit, it was good. But needless to say, though, the judges awarded Evan Dunham a split decision victory. So congratulations. And on to the pay-per-view event itself, as Joseph Benavidez versus Ian McCall, and the winner is Joseph Benavidez via unanimous decision. I mean, it wasn't rocket science. I mean, Joseph Benavidez did more. He went out with him more aggressively. He outfought him, but of course, Ian McCall did some good things too. He did some strikes to the face. Matter of fact, in the second round, Joseph was in trouble because when Joseph tried to take him down, Ian McCall jumped over him and had him on his back and grinding and pounding him to such a degree in at least the last couple minutes in the second round. But of course, Joseph Benavidez, as explosive as he was able to explode on his feet and kept the pressure going. Of course, Ian McCall was able to get some good strikes in too. I mean, a good amount of strikes, but Joseph's aggression was just too much for Ian McCall overall. So, congratulations. I guess we'll see if he's gonna get another shot at Demetrius Johnson's title at some point, a flyweight title. So, congratulations. And in this one right here, that's the beginning, the start of the dominance of the Brazilian fighters. So what I mean by that, check this out. John Fitch, a great, excellent wrestler as he is, ground and pounder and everything, a jiu-jitsu fighter, a jiu-jitsu practitioner, no, not jiu-jitsu practitioner, excuse me, a counter for Brazilians. So in other words, every time a Brazilian fighter or anybody with Brazilian jiu-jitsu background tries to fight with him or tries to submit him, he would always find a way to counter him. But he went against a world-class jiu-jitsu champion by the name of Demian Maia. And the winner between those two was Demian Maia via unanimous decision. I mean, what a dominant performance by Demian Maia. I mean, John Fitch didn't really get much going in his favor. I mean, every time when he tries to throw a strike, Demian Maia always caught his legs. He out-wrestled him. He body scissored him. He was on top of him like an insect. I mean, he had him all over the place. Nearly had him choked out. Took him down with his legs. Had his legs spread out. I mean, Demian Maia had his way with him. He had his way with John Fitch in a way that I had never seen before. And no one else has ever seen John Fitch being out-wrestled and manhandled like the way Demian Maia did it. I mean, wow, he made it like a work of art once again. And John Fitch is no slouch. As a matter of fact, he's a very tough guy. He's a very, very tough guy. So basically, well, there's a little excitement around here. So there's some excitement around here. So just excuse the noise. In any event, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Demian Maia, like I said, had him all over the place. I mean, John Fitch really didn't have much of an answer to anything that Demian Maia threw at him. So congratulations, Demian Maia, an awesome display of jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and an awesome victory overall. And oh my goodness, wow! This next bout right there got me laughing. And I'll tell you what, there was all this conflict that was going on between Alistair Overeem and Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Now, Antonio Silva, of course, has been underrated, so to speak. And then, of course, Alistair Overeem has had his overration in his own right, in a way, of course, with his drug problems and stuff like that. And, of course, he thought he was going to come back and did his thing. Well, anyways, Alistair Overeem went against Antonio Silva. And what happened with him? Let's just put it this way. Antonio Silva ends up winning via TKO victory in the third round. What happened? Very simple. Alistair Overeem didn't, first of all, he acted way too cocky for his own good. Since he was such a dream heavyweight champion, Strikeforce heavyweight champion, and a K1 kickboxing champion, he's got a lot of credentials, right? So he thought he was he really thought he was unbeatable. What? His problem was he thought that Bigfoot Silva was not good on the feet. Big mistake, okay? A big man like that, a giant like him, and he just thought that he couldn't, get outstruck by him was a mistake, because sure, he had him tied up in the fence in the first round, and had him with some good knees, and then even had some good takedowns on him. Actually, he took him down in the second round and had him grounding and pounding him, dominated it. Well, not totally dominated, but he actually outstruck him in the first round, and then struck him in the second round, and then grounded and pounded him in the second. But when things started to change was when he started thinking that he was going to just not get hit by him. Stupid mistake. First of all, what Joe Rogan said, he did not respect Bigfoot Silva's stand-up. If anything, he dropped his arms like an idiot. He should have had his hands up when you're fighting somebody like that. He had his arms up and he was putting his head out like this, like, come on, hit me. And so what happened was, he got hit, he got clipped. Now that he got clipped, that he went against the fence, Bigfoot Silva just went after him, and that was like a shark that smelled blood, just went after him, and hit him so hard that he finally had a good knockout on Alistair Overeem, and he just went down. Herb Dean stopped the fight. Oh my goodness. And Antonio Silva, excellent fight. Congratulations, man. And I'll tell you one thing, I've actually made fun of him in the past about his big head, being the bigger target and everything. And I guess Alistair Overeem, somewhere in the ethers in the universe, must have picked up what I've said and said he's a big walking target. The only big walking target that ended up happening was Alistair Overeem was the one who was a big walking target tonight against the Bigfoot Silva. So, man, excellent victory on Antonio Silva. And what's next for him? We'll see. But Alistair Overeem, man, he got knocked out backwards now. He's not going anywhere near the heavyweight championship anytime soon. I'll tell you that right now. And I hope this serves him a lesson as Alistair Overeem not to get too cocky. And now, I hope this serves a humbling lesson, but something tells me he may not learn that lesson as quickly as many of us may want to imagine.